Alright, so what we're going to work on today is more isometric loading. So what that means is pretty much that we're going to keep more time under tension by holding the time. Wow, fuck. Come on. Now you can do this. So today we're going to focus more on isometric loading. Now what that means is we're going to focus more time under tension by holding the exercise rather than going more for reps. So with that, we're going to do a total of 5 exercises today, and you're just going to go along with the times that I've given to you. And because of this, one of the big things that we want to make sure that we do with each one is we want to engage our core. Because a lot of this is going to have our core involved with every single exercise, and we want to also make sure, for example, like on our first exercise, when we do our hand leg opposites, we do not overstretch the abdomen, because we do want to keep a little bit of protection with the baby. But we do want to engage the core and move it. So I want you to kind of find what's going to feel best for you today. Maybe experiment after the first round or so. Because we're going to do a few sets of this. So what we're going to go into is going to start off on the floor once we've warmed up into a hand leg opposite. All that means is we're going to extend the right hand and left leg out. Find our balance point between our hand and knee that is on the floor. And holding. Again, while we're here, we want to engage the glutes. So try to push the heel up and really try to push the thumb and engage the back of the shoulder blade. Really feel those muscles. And you are going to go ahead and do the right and left side for the described time. Really focusing on as much engagement of every muscle group that you can think of throughout the time. Also making sure we have our balance as well, because after we've gone into our hold, we're going to take a quick breather, and then we're going to pop onto our feet into a plank, keeping the shoulders stacked over the wrists. Make sure the spine is long, straight between the shoulders to hips, and again, you're engaging the core. This is a great time also to focus on breathing and keeping control of our breath, because after our time, you're going to go ahead and migrate up to your feet, either by inchworming up or finding what's going to be most comfortable for you, into a standing position. From here, we're going to bring our feet about hip width apart, and you're going to go into a chair squat. So once we're here, if you want to, you can have your hands overhead or just straight out in front of you. If you want, you can use a band against an anchor point for support as well. And you're just going to drop down into a squat. Again, if you want to, hands are going to be overhead or straight out in front. And you're going to hold the squat. All the while we're holding, we're trying to lean back. And as we lean back and slightly put our weight on our heels, you're going to feel the quads fire up. You're going to hold that for a count of 5 during your clock. And then you're going to slightly rock onto the toes, still keeping the heels on the floor, just slightly off. You're going to feel the calves fire up. You're going to feel the hamstrings want to start to activate. So during your counts of 5, 3 to 5, you're going to rock back and forth from the toes to the heels, keeping your squat position. And you're going to feel those legs start to fire up. Afterwards, we're going to grab a resistance band. I'm using a loop band. If you have one of the other bands, that's totally fine. This one is just my demonstration band. Also, you want to find the band that's going to be the correct weight for you, or the one that I've given to you. And we're going to go ahead and bring our feet right on top of the band, about hip width apart. Slightly hinging forward. You're then going to pull the arms back. Elbows are up, squeezing through the back of the shoulder blades as tight as you can, slowly returning back to normal, if you need to. But we want to try to keep that hold for a count of 5 before dropping. You're going to go ahead and do that for the rep range. Afterwards, you're going to unloop one side, or if you need to make it lighter, you can step 1 foot out. And we're simply going to transition into a bicep curl to press. So you're just going to go ahead, bring the hands up, and then press overhead. Back down, and then back to the left. With this one, it is okay if you move your elbows a little bit. Because we're using a resistance band, we are not having to worry about gravity and losing the weight of the weight as we cheat a little bit as we need to. But we do want to try to keep that nice and great form that we have been trying to practice all along. So again, focus on that, and we'll go forward from there.